I'm excited to chat with you because you have some great new music out now. I know people tend to just describe you as Latin pop or pop music, but how do you describe your music?
My music tells stories. It tells like anything we live daily. I love to talk about real things so everybody can, in a certain way, um, try to feel the story, feel the reality of what I'm saying. So, pop is probably the right word because it comes from popular, from what people are listen and share. So, yeah, you did the right definition.
Who were some musical influences you had when you were growing up?
My musical influences were like Motown was Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, a lot of Italian music as well. But like on the international scene, surely Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, Whitney Houston, um, um, Elton John. Uh, I would say that probably Elton John. Like I share also the the love for piano, like the way that we write, the melody still present instead of like the 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 the, the today's most of today's music is more built on beats. I still build my music on melody and harmony. So
You're a natural musician then at heart.
yeah,
You've come up and learning the proper way to write a song, I feel.
I was I was always attracted by the mystery around making music, artisan, like with my hands. I always felt that my hands needed to do something. And so when I was a child, I didn't have any clue about to play the piano. When I was 7, I started to study music. And theory, the first definition was, the music is the art of the sound, but like, it's made by harmony and melody. So like that's what I learned, and that's what I did, and what I'm able to do right now. I don't know if I will be so good in beats right now.
Your new song Hideaway is out now alongside your debut self-titled album. What was the inspiration for Hideaway?
So, Hideaway inspiration came from a trip that I did in Tijuana, Mexico. I used to live in Los Angeles, and when I had the chance, I always walked across the border to get the chance to breathe some of different lifestyle. I have to say, like, I was born in Italy, I grew up there, and it's such, a different place than United States. Essentially, there's I have to say that the economical surrounding truly influence who we are. And anytime I went to Tijuana, I had the chance to be in contact with the really like simplicity, like with the um, nothing that was beyond what a person really needed, and that gives me so much to tell about, to write about. And the day I met this homeless man that wanted to have a conversation with me, he was so sweet, and I started my conversation with him. This lasted for more than an hour. And in more than an hour, I learned so many things about his life. And I learned that we can never judge somebody from how the person is dressed in the moment, because apparently this man had everything and beyond. He used to live in Los Angeles. And for being in the wrong place in the wrong moment, he lost everything. He lost family, lost job, he lost even almost his identity. That's why I decided to write Hideaway, because it keeps all of these different sensation, all of these different layers of society, and also, like the place where you go to start from zero and to become again, just like, the little seed that eventually will become a flower again.
I think it's a perfect follow-up to We Are the Power and Hope It Will Remind You because it's so inspirational. It's also from your heart.
Yeah, we are the power, hope will remind you, crazy. These are, and Hideaway are probably the most connected songs of the album in terms of sharing like the same kind of emotion in different ways. Um, I wrote "We Are the Power" during the pandemic, and because I felt the need that we needed to remind each other how important was to be together, and it was so unnatural being divided, so unfair to also are being people that need people, like Barbara Streisand was singing that too, like, so it wasn't bullshit, it was truth, like, so it was a way for me to remind to myself, to remind everybody that team working, connection is fundamental in order to live, in order to create new things, because sometimes we forget that we live here in a mission. That's our mission. I believe like what we are living right now, being human beings on this earth, is a mission. Everybody has its own mission. We need to understand which one is our mission and proceed trying to get the best of it. So we are the power. Hope it will remind you. It was a way for me to uh, translate a very painful situation in an advice almost to myself, live each day like it's, 100 of each day, of days. Um, and Hideaway is crazy again, another moment where like, the impossibility to reach other people's mind it sometimes leads you to a state of frustration. So what I do when this happens, I write a song. I write a song and I cure myself. And Hideaway was the description of this, and also wants to be a message to everybody that sees some of themselves in the song, just to say, like, we never have to undervalue anything. Even a person that in the street asks you something that can be apparently whatever, we need to listen because the person can give us a ton.
Right, of course. They've given us their time and maybe even a lesson for us to take away for our own
Exactly.
lives.
Exactly.
Well, this is such a poignant song. I feel like I have to ask about a video that you have for it. Talk about creating it and crafting what you wanted to be sure you included in Hideaway.
Yeah, so the video of Hideaway was born thinking at that simple meeting. Everything was literally simple made in the video. I called my dear friend Sebastian Cuenca, who is an amazing talent. The thing that I love of him is that with the camera, he brings people into the story. And you know what? We use this iPhone to do the video. It was very simple, and I didn't want to use any light. I wanted just to relive the day that I was in Tijuana, Mexico, trying to take very similar places of the places that I that they reminded me Tijuana, all the areas where like I was the day, and then where I met the homeless. So like essentially anything is visible in the video is real stuff. Nothing was staged, no artificial lights, just natural lights. In fact, it was the day we filmed in 2 days because it was supposed to be a cloudy day, and that's what I like, the atmosphere that I want to like to bring up, because it was the feeling that I had inside myself when I wrote this song. And it was supposed to be a cloudy day. It was a beautiful, bright, sunny day, so we had to wait another day to film certain scenes, but essentially every scene brings back to the moment. Rivers, we start from the beach. There is something in common in between Los Angeles and Tijuana, and we finish in a downtown scenario. It's all what this man actually did going from Los Angeles to Tijuana, was his journey. And you can see that in the video very clear. And again, like I want to encourage everybody that, you know, a lot of people sometimes think that to build videos, to build, like, you know, a career or whatever, you need to have you need to invest a lot of money. Sometimes you need to have ideas, and you need to have the essential. In today's world, almost everybody has a smartphone. It doesn't really mean, you know, you need to have an iPhone or whatever. Just have ideas, just film something, just put that out. And this is my second video actually do with an iPhone. And and it's fun. I'm free.
I mean, it's very interesting that technology, first of all, has gotten us so far that you can film this incredible video just on your cell phone,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and and it turn out so beautifully. But at the same time, I think it does justice because it feels sort of like your path. We're following you on this path that you really did go down to speak with this person. It feels very personal. That's what I
Yeah,
should say. It's more of a personal
yeah.
aspect to creating the video, which I think is great as well. You feel the connection the two of you had in it, and it's a wonderful video. I'm sure you've gotten a lot of response from the fans. What have they been saying to you?
Well, like I did an interview a few days ago with a very famous Italian journalist in Italian TV, and he's like he interviewed everybody from Janis Joplin to um, anybody you can. He was actually the one that owned the Jimi Hendrix guitar when went on Sotheby's for sale. And he's an incredible talent. This man here, other than being a journalist, really like gets into videos and stuff. Like, and when I told him, you know, like that was filmed with an iPhone, and nobody can believe it, you know, like everybody was very into the story immediately. And this surprised me because, you know, sometimes it took me a while to decide to release this song. And it took me a while, probably because I was overthinking. And then just thing became very quick when I started to have the idea, and let's do it. You know, everybody was very happy.
I'm
Including me.
sure. I'm sure. When it comes to songwriting, do you need to have like for like Hideaway, you came up with this idea, this concept because of the conversation you had. But when it comes to writing songs, do you typically have a process that you have where you come up with a concept and then you craft the lyrics around a beat? Do you need the music first and then the lyrics find you?
So I always sit at the piano there. In this moment is in front of me. I always sit there, and I try to uh feel emotions, like feel where, you know, it's like having like a white canvas with colors, and you start to, you know, like try and see. Well, with music is the same. I sit myself at the piano and I do chords, I do harmonies, and eventually these harmonies become melody. I start to hum something with my mouth, you know, singing something in a invented English, and that's where like the melody finds shape. Yeah, you know, like these things here. And then I record immediately with my phone. That's the, you know, like the pre-demo stuff. Then I go to my other area where I do the pre-production, and I start to put, you know, like instruments that I feel uh, um, let's say close enough to my feeling. And then I fly to Los Angeles, where I work with my producer Chico Bennett, and we shape, like, you know, all the final result. But that's my way to write music.
When it comes then to the production side of the music, do you have much of a say in how that aspect is crafted? Do you say, okay, I want to hear more guitar here, or maybe a little bit more drum over here? Or do you trust you have people in place that really can give you some authentic and heartfelt feedback?
So I always try to put my ideas first, meaning like that I want to, you know, for a musician or for an artist or for somebody that try to take off from his mind, of her mind, an idea. It's very important to lay this idea in the most vivid way possible out as soon as you can. And then, like the majority of time with my process, I clean stuff. Like, I tend to reduce what I put there. Because, it's not important to be baroque in what you do, but it's important to have a balance. And sometimes, leaving things minimal can give you a lot of space in the mixing process. Like something very simple can become actually very huge. Like, for example, We Are the Power. It's a very simple song, it sounds very rich. Why? Because there's like essentially a piano, a drum, organ, and a gospel choir. Like, it's just us, you know but usually I put everything all by myself, and then with Chico we understand what we want to keep and what we want to take off, and eventually also something that we can add at that moment that I didn't think. For example, Find My Way, that is part of this album that came out on November 16th. It was a month process. Like, I usually, like, when I go to Los Angeles in a week, I complete everything, but Find My Way lasted a month, because we were laying stuff and then we were taking off, and they it was like, so it always depends. It always something that you think it can be something, you go in studio and become something completely different. For example, when an historical example of it, when Cher uh, recorded Believe, nobody had any idea of using auto-tune, because auto-tune was something that didn't really exist. Nobody else used it before, and there was a kind of mistake actually, that you know it was an experiment, and as soon as they listened to it, they're like, oh wow, and now everybody uses autotune, so that wasn't prepared. It just came out from a simple mistake.
Just incredible. And I know my personal favorite song off of this debut album, but I have to ask you, what are some of them that hold a special place in your heart? Obviously, Hideaway is going to be extremely close to your heart.
So the one that is closest to my heart is no doubt Hope It Will Remind You, because it talks about the relation in between me and my dad. So if you look at the video, if you watch the video, there's essentially our story. And my dad is who introduced me into music, is my hero. And few years ago was diagnosed with a very aggressive neurological disease. And when I wrote this song, I didn't really have any idea what this disease was, but I felt that there was something wrong, and so that's why I'm living each day, and like 400, so that's the song that is closest to my heart. I I I want advice to everybody that listen this moment, uh, to really keep saying, I love you to the person that you love, to really give a hug whenever you can, or simply my parents are in Italy, my father is still with us, but anytime I call him 3 4 times a day on FaceTime, I just do a screenshot, because I want to keep all the memories of every second. So that first, Find My Way is a very fun song for me to sing live. It talks about my mother give me discipline, and and Crazy is a song that I love. We Are the Power. I mean, all of them are my sons, so I truly cannot really tell you, but Hope It Will Remind You is absolutely the song that is closer to my heart. Yeah.
Is there a message then, or an emotion, something you really hope lingers with people that explore this album as a whole, start to finish?
Um, there's I mean, what I hope that people can find in this album is um truth in everything I tell. I try, like to tell these things in my personal way that is still like, becoming something else. Because remember, I started to write this song before this album before pandemic, and then like, pandemic was in the way. So for I'm not Taylor Swift. Like I need time to promote things. I need time to let everybody be aware of who I am. So pandemic was the worst moment to do that, and for somebody also the best, because there were also a lot of artists that were born during that time. But this is a journey into, it's like a summary of who I am. Uh, and I'm telling this to the United States for the first time. I came from Italy, where like I did a ton of TV. Everybody knows me there. So like I don't need to tell them who I am. They know who I am. But I felt that I had to build something that was going to tell everybody here little parts of me, describing, what every day we live.
Have you been playing any of the songs live, or will you be doing some shows coming here in the near future?
Actually, I'm doing a ton of show. It's almost like every night there is a show that I'm doing, and I'm very happy for it because I love the live dimension, and I love because I can even change a little bit the songs. Like I can do something that sometimes when I go in studio and I tell Chico, let's work on this like this, and I said no, 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 let's do like a radio edit of this. Then live you can do whatever. So I'm unleashed. I can do whatever. I'm having a lot of shows. I love the contact with people. I love to tell people the story of the song. I'm a storyteller when I do shows. So essentially, like I get really to share things with who is listening to me. I'm playing from from Los Angeles to New York to Florida to like hopefully soon I will also like go in the middle of the country and starts to play also there. But yes, every date is available on my website stefanomay.com, or my social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I know I should be, but I'm not really a TikTok, a TikToker. And you know what, like it's fine. I think like everybody has its own place. This album that I wrote is a very truthful experience of me in situations. And if I would be something just because I need to be, part of the system, I don't like it. So you can find me more often on Instagram and Facebook for sure. But like, yeah, every day, every update will be there.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the incredible music that you make?
Uh, to keep listening to it, because I have many dreams. I want to share like my new music finally from the beginning of the year, and it will be a little bit different, even if I want to keep my soul, my soul motive inside. I think that's very important. That's me, and I will never leave it. Like sometimes we get just for a self perspective. Um, we think we need to change our things because like it's trendy right now to do this. I don't really care about it because trends come and go and they come back eventually. I want to tell them to keep listening to me because there will be many surprises, and because I want to talk about what every day we do, every day we live, and who we are. um, I wanna I wanna try to really write something for everybody, and make music for everybody. Sometimes we think there are situations that we don't belong because we think differently, or because I don't think that's right. I want to go back to the beginning when I told you we are here with a mission. So the music is my mission in life, and if I can with my music, uh, trying to convert somebody on a good, positive vibe, I want to do it. Think about what John Lennon did with Imagine, for example. Like during the Vietnam War, he was louder than politics, and then he paid the consequences of it, but still was louder than politics. So that's these are the people that I want to see. These are the people that influence me. My idols are people that, with the power of music or with beautiful gesture in life, change the world. And I always think that if I want to be somebody that, if I want to be a good person, I have to take example from them. So no matter if I do music or art or just like share a word with my neighbor, you know. So